All right, welcome back to another episode of Tats and Gats podcast, where we talk about tattoos and guns. This is season 2, episode 8. And I am Alex, and this is
Lee.
Yeah, and we're brought to you by
Rifle Supply.
Yeah, and sponsored by
Ington Tools.
and RKB
Yeah.
Tactical.
Switch it up.
We did it. And what else are people supposed to do? That we're supposed to tell them at the front of the episode now.
Like, comment, subscribe. Please tag your baby daddies and mamas and grandmas and grandpas.
And your enemies.
Enemies, all your enemies.
Who are we here with today?
Jen Flats.
Awesome.
Hey,
welcome
hey.
to the show.
Thank you
Thanks
for having
being
me.
here.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Okay, we normally do an EDC pocket dump at the beginning of the episode, but
Oh,
you are traveling.
yeah.
Are you traveling with any GATs?
No, I didn't try. I've never actually traveled with my pieces
We put our
before.
game a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how California is. I should have looked into it, but
it's kind of one of those like ask for forgiveness, not permission.
I was already carrying so much gear, so
Yeah. You what are you in town for? Do you want to tell the people?
I'm here to work the InkCon tattoo convention.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
Ontario, not LA.
That's it.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be in Los Angeles, and then I was reprimanded on how far my hotel was.
So
So
like, what? That's what I
Yeah.
said. I was like, what? Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
Be careful down there.
LA's a big place.
yeah,
Includes
but it gave me an
Hollywood.
extra day, so it
Nice.
worked out.
Extra day to do what? What we do?
Yeah, I went shooting today. Yeah, felt
Give her
good.
hoggies. Went shooting.
Yeah,
First time shooting a red dot. She did really good.
yeah, it was fun.
First time.
First time.
Yeah, mine are iron sights, so
Very cool.
First hush puppy day too. Local
yes,
quiet mode,
yeah.
How was that for you shooting a silenced firearm?
I like how it's quiet. We like the little ping though when we were doing the
Oh yeah,
plates.
we're hitting my steel.
Yeah,
Oh,
And
nice.
it was just like, you know
Yeah.
how like Rahoggy's like their steel's like blah, 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 and then like ours like bing,
Yeah,
bing.
it's a
like,
good sound.
satisfying.
Oh, because there's just like
It's a
dug
good
into the
sound.
dirt,
yeah, but
so
it's almost
yeah.
like different metal material or whatever, you know.
Yeah, it was fun.
in the ground.
In the ground.
It sucks it all up.
it it messes with the acoustics.
Well, I
I
mean-
don't know.
We took
Yeah, it was just nice sounding. So,
took a little bit of footage and she was pinging like 25 yards out. Like we can post this like
We'll show it right
right here.
now.
yeah, yeah.
Sick.
Just killing it.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was hot, but it was fun.
Awesome. With that, give a little introduction about yourself. Who you are, what you do, background history, all that good stuff.
My name's Jen Flats. I'm a tattooer from Connecticut, Groton, Connecticut.
Grab.
So like we're right near the sub base, Coast Guard Academy,
Right.
General Dynamics. So we have all that.
Very cool.
I own my own shop. I have 2 kids, travel a lot, and I like to shoot.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
What's the name of your shop?
It's Flats Tattoos.
Very cool.
I'm a second gen, so I like took it over from my father. So I just kept the name.
Awesome. Let's dig into that because you had mentioned that earlier. We're
Yeah.
all eating lunch together. You are a second generation tattooer.
Second
so-
gen, yeah. So my father tattooed and taught me how to tattoo.
Awesome. How long has your father been tattooing?
I think it's about 75. So
That's
he
incredible.
opened the shop, I believe, in 86 or 87.
Very cool.
It's a great year.
And,
So we're born.
I took over almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah.
How was that transition where you like had to hand it over, like hand the reins
I
over?
feel like
to-
that's when the industry changed. So it went from like my dad had 3 or 4 shops and it was like the only one around.
Yeah.
And then it started like some people were starting to move and open their own shop and people were like closing in. So he wasn't the only person. So you go from like having 26 artists in 3 shops to just 1 shop. And he was like already living in Vermont. He moved to Vermont like a couple years before that. And it was just easier to transition into that because like the style changed. People were starting to make appointments. It wasn't just walk-ins all day, every day. So, and he's so old school, that just doesn't, he's like not interested. So,
Yeah.
And the appointment thing, like Rick Walters, what am I, fucking hairstylist? I'm
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
right. Yeah, it's
I'm going to
hard.
get a tattoo. Yeah. It
Yeah.
has changed a lot. And I think for the guys and gals that have been doing it a lot longer, it's hard to make that transition. Like,
It's a hard transition. I have someone that works for me. He's been there for 25 years, like with my dad. And he still has a hard time. People make appointments, but then it's like every day. He's like, what are you getting? Like, he's never going to
Yeah.
prepare, When you're used to that lifestyle, someone comes in, just tells you what they want. You're like, all right, got it.
Cool.
Golden. But
do you prepare for your appointments?
I do. I
How
do
far in
prepare.
advance do you like to
A
prepare?
day or two, because now with like emails and everything, they change their mind. And
Yeah.
because I'm still not so good with the tablet stuff. I still have like a big light box. So
Right.
like big projects, I still like to sketch out. So I have like a little first pass kind of memory thing.
Nice.
But yeah, people change their minds. So it's like,
The light box.
I'm going to put 12 hours into drawing, and then you're going to be like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I don't do that anymore.
Did you learn on Lightbox? I know you do tablet now.
Yeah. Tracing paper, light box, red
Yeah.
pencils.
It's just a habit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use my iPad. I've said this before on the podcast, but I use it as if it was tracing paper
Same.
with red pencil.
I don't know how to do anything fancy with it. Can make a layer. That's what I can do.
Yeah. And I turn the opacity down so it looks like tracing paper.
He taught me that.
I
layer's
think I'm
not for
still
merch.
more creative on paper. Like I have to
Yeah.
draw it out.
Does your dad still tattoo?
Yeah, he still tattoos. He's a gnarly dude. You guys would love him.
I'm sure.
But he's had a wild life, so he's a little beat up. So he's the guy that like has a footstool and he doesn't use the armrest. He just grabs your arm and
From the
stretches
back
that
and
way.
stretches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So
Everybody-
he's still the same. He's got like a barber chair and a step stool and a power supply he made himself. So
Oh, so rad.
A lost art. Like
Yeah.
most tattooers these days wouldn't even know what a power supply is, let
Right.
alone how to build one themselves.
yeah, it's huge. It's like he's had it forever. Still works great.
And he's in Vermont.
Yeah, he moved to Vermont because he wanted to be able to have more guns and more fun.
Yes.
So Vermont's that state. Your driver's license is literally your permit carry, and you can have whatever you want.
Vermont is like special to my heart because of,
Yeah.
Super Troopers when I'm a child.
Super
I
Troopers.
thought you were going to say because Bernie Sanders.
No.
Yeah, I think he loves everything in Vermont besides the politics.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure.
everywhere. But like,
I'm surprised to hear their gun laws are like that. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's literally your driver's license is your carry permit.
so we were
yeah.
talking at the range, and like Connecticut's very similar to California,
It is. Yeah.
except their carry permits are a little better. If you own it, you can carry it. You don't have to qual on it.
Yeah, I don't have to do that.
That's
Where you
kinda
guys
cool.
have to shoot every
and
gun under
register
that.
it on your CCW license. Like,
I have a separate one. I can show you my wallet. It's a separate license you have to carry.
That's super
but
cool.
And it-
that covers you for any gun that you own. You can carry.
Anything. Yeah, I can
That's
go buy a gun and then it's mine. I don't have to do.
Yeah, and you were saying you have like a 35 little two shotter, like a
Yeah,
little
little
Corsair
pocket gun.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
Senator Mass is making it for me, actually.
so
Rad.
rad, dude.
Yeah.
When I got off my apprenticeship, my teacher, one of my mentors, the owner of the shop, Dan McNabb, gave me a little Derringer 38 special.
Rad.
Yeah.
I just
My
thought that
dad,
was
that's
super
one of his
cool.
favorite guns. See, when he's wearing like his motor, it like fits in his pocket. That's what he
Super
carries when he
awesome.
rides. Yeah.
I think I put like 50 rounds of that thing in one day.
I would. It just sounds fun. Like,
It
let's
was
go.
so
Killing you.
sore after
Yeah.
that. Like,
You got to see this thing. Like, she'll show you a picture where the company.
Oh yeah, they're giving me like an attachment that's like it looks like brass knuckles,
you-
but like you can just
hold it. and
grab it.
holds the little gun. It's kinda
Yeah,
cool.
so you're not
that's
like
cool.
Yeah.
trying to pinch
Super
it.
rad.
Rad.
Yeah.
So did you apprentice under your dad?
Kind of everybody. I
Okay.
was like the shop bitch forever.
So real apprenticeship.
A real apprenticeship. Mine lasted 5 years.
Wow. When
Yeah.
did you start? How old were you when you started?
I was young. I was like 16.
Okay, that
And I
makes
was
sense
like
then.
piercing, working the front desk, cleaning the shop. They used to pay me to make their needles. Like
Nice.
that's how I made money. Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you're a tattoo and piercing shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Piercing
mean, I
was
guess
like a good way back in the day to like make money while you're apprenticing to tattoo.
because that's
It's
a
kind
hard
of what you
thing
did.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard to be there and then have another job on top of
Yeah.
it.
I did. I made balloon animals at downtown Disney towards the end of my apprenticeship
Okay.
because it's something I did in high school and it's surprisingly really good money.
I say you kind of have to know how to do that.
Yeah. I can make a monkey climbing a tree, chasing
I'd
bananas.
never
on
be
a
able to
hat,
figure that out.
Look at it, be like, I'd just be like serial killer and just balloon.
Balloons.
But it was cool because I was able to go later in the evening, so I wouldn't
Oh.
miss too much in the shop. I could still be there,
Yeah.
hustle out there, make a couple $100, and then be back the next day. But
Yeah.
that's rad. So I mean, I guess that makes sense. You said you're 16. 5 years is going to put you at
21.
Yeah, I was
21.
21 when I
Do you-
officially started. They didn't give me a station. I had to bounce around.
yeah.
Like whoever
So-
called out that day or didn't show up.
Yeah, wherever there was a spot, and I was because you just did walk-ins when I started. There was no appointments or anything. There was no. We had a computer, but we never used it. I think we
Yeah.
would type up some fonts. That's about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you think you would have been ready? Because I guess most apprenticeships I would say are anywhere. I'd say it should be at least 2 to 3, 1 to 3.
yeah.
But at like 18, let's say if you did 2 years, do you think you would have been ready for like a full blown tattoo career at that point? Because I don't think I could have handled it at that age.
Yeah, I think it's hard because I was all over the place. It's like, do I want to go to college? Do I want to join the military? I was working at a bar. Like,
Yeah.
I was all over the place, but I was still there 6 days a week
Yeah.
and like doing everything I had to do. It teaches you good work ethic, I think, is the
For
key.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And to respect like what's going on. So
Yeah.
I've had a lot of apprentices, and it's time and effort. So like, okay, you have to complete these tasks. This is what I expect from you. And then it's like a push and shove, whining and crying when like you already knew what you're jumping on. So it is harder.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like in Connecticut, you used to have a doctor to actually license your shop.
Okay.
Now the state, you just pay them a license fee and you can open a shop wherever.
Do they do like a health department inspection type thing?
There's a little bit depending on the town, but the state just wants you to pay them.
Yeah.
Make sure you do your bloodborne, and then you can tattoo anywhere in Connecticut.
Interesting.
So it changed. As soon as that happened, there was like the big split. So like you used to only be able to work at shops. So like my dad had 3 shops, and like if someone didn't want to stay late or do a tattoo, he'd be like, "You're fired." They came in and they're like weren't clean or they're high. He's like, "You're fired. Like get the fuck out. Like good luck finding somewhere else." Now you can kind of people hop around and
for sure.
Shop hoppers.
it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a good question on deck about that.
It's just a different world, respect wise, I think.
Oh, that's what it was.
Like I've had people that never even had an apprenticeship and they tattoo.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I remember when you said like there's an expectation, and then this is so many times because as an apprentice, like it's inevitable you start to feel down on yourself. Oh, they're so mean, and then you'd like maybe say to the owners, "Hey, like what am I doing wrong?" And it's like they go, "Remember 3 weeks ago when we had that conversation?" And I said, "When you clean every single window, then I would let you do X, Y, Z, whatever the thing was." And you're like, "Oh yeah," it's like, yeah.
I think it's just the people are different. I think now it's like I line it all out. They have a paperwork contract. I'm like, this is what I expect from you. This is what I'm going to ask you to complete. Like, you have to get to these steps.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, how long is this going to take? I'm like, it depends how much you're here. If you're here 10 hours a week, it's probably going to take a while.
Yeah.
So
you get out what you put in.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I've met apprentices now. They're like, yeah, I come in 2 days a week and
Crazy.
Johnny's apprentice. You should be lucky, buddy.
I literally had to clean
Johnny, we're still on your ass.
Still on your ass.
Oh no.
He came on the podcast.
Oh.
He was like, I've never even taken out the trash. And we're like, what?
That's crazy.
We're like, what?
I mean, back in the day, God, my dad used to have his apprentices like babysit, wash his bikes, wash his cars.
Hey, wash my car.
Yeah, do everything. I mean, I had to clean both shops, make needles, clean tubes, make stencils. You needed to like draw each one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you just print it out. We didn't have a computer.
No.
So.
Yeah, I remember drawing a lot of stencils for appointments. And that extracurricular stuff that like, hey, you got to pick up
preps you though. I feel like I have my trace. I'm like, that's literally just preparing you to like muscle memory. We're not doing it for no reason.
Yeah.
Because we used to have like, my dad had like the old like flash everywhere. And there was like a file cabinet where like we had made outlines. And as when I had to draw each flash, I had to make an outline and redo the file cabinet.
Yep.
So
I think I had to paint. There was an old. Never try to remember a name or do math on camera because it's a doc something. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. A book of Flash, like old school Flash, and it was like, okay, when you paint every single drawing in this book on Flash, I think it ended up being like over 60 Flash sheets.
Right.
Then like you can watch us tattoo.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
Like,
I feel like that's just a good work. Like if you complete this task, you're gonna get what you want.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Show
fair.
me you want it. That's what it is.
And I think too, like you own your own business as a shop owner, you own your own business as an artist. That's not an easy thing to do. And a lot of people struggle like, oh, I want to start a business, but they don't realize all the work that's entailed. I think having a tough apprenticeship, juggling multiple tasks really prepares you to be successful in the world.
For sure.
You know?
Because when I work every day pretty much.
Yeah.
And my artists are there 2-3 days maybe, just come and go. I'm like, that's nice. But, the goal eventually is to like, maybe I'll only work 2 or 3 days, but
yeah,
we'll see.
Is your shop a lot of walk-ins?
We still have a lot of walk-ins. You have to push for them though. And that's where we were talking about social media and stuff. That's like the new game.
Yeah.
You have to be on it. So
I forget how I found your social media popped up. And then I remember I like commented on something. I remember I was in North Carolina visiting my brother.
Oh yeah, I was probably working in North Carolina.
I was like, oh, she followed me. I was like, rad. It's like
sweet.
like she's totally in the guns. Like it's like one of those like where you don't post about it, but you'll put
I
gun stuff
don't,
on
yeah.
your story. I was
I've learned that lesson. Like, I don't post. I'll put it in my story. It disappears, so people can't like hate on it. So
Yeah.
I was telling.
I'm learning that lesson.
Yeah.
I was telling her about
Yeah.
like when you post anything gun related.
it's
it
hard
just-
because like
followers
it's
just
still
don't-
your business, even though it's still you as an
Yeah.
artist. So like you think people want to see about your everyday life, but then you get some
They're like,
hater,
"Why
someone
would you
that
like guns.
yeah.
It's hard for me because I look at guns as so far removed from politics. I think that's people's big issues.
I think it is now because people just relate it like,
Yeah.
oh, if you like guns, you're a Republican. I hate Republicans.
Yeah,
so
which
it's
is so
different.
dumb. It's like
Yeah.
guns are beyond politics. It's part
Yeah.
of my
I feel like the
culture.
days of having a normal, respectable conversation about politics or anything is gone.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's gone. Yeah.
The national divorce
Yeah,
has
right.
happened.
Separated.
yeah. I guess we're in a
Can't talk to you
separation right
anymore.
now.
Yeah.
I feel like most people nowadays is like they don't really like either side. It's kind of like the government.
I feel like the people that are into it, they don't even know. It's just like, this is what I like. So anything else is bad.
Yeah.
Like, and that's cool. Like if
Yeah.
if I was like a Democrat hardcore and you were a hardcore Republican, I would still carry conversation with that's cool. Dude.
But I feel like that's the generation where like you still could have a normal conversation.
We are part of that generation for sure. I
Yeah.
have friends that like disagree 100% with me, and
Right.
we're still friends.
Still
we,
friends.
and
Yeah.
we can talk about it. We'll
Right.
sit in the backyard over a beer or whatever, a non-alcoholic beer, and like discuss these things, and we'll change each other's minds. We'll
Right.
be open-minded. I don't
Yeah.
think he's a bad person because he has a different
Right.
opinion, and vice versa. When you start getting into that territory, it's like, dude, we can't. How could you even have a
I
conversation?
feel like the younger generation doesn't even know how to have a conversation.
No, they
So
just scream in a corner at you. so
Right.
you leave them alone.
yes, like your opinion isn't factual, but
No.
it's like you should still be a rational
Yeah,
human, have a normal conversation. Tattoos too, though, like, talking to some artists that private studio, never had apprenticeship, they just like don't get it. But then they don't have the respect. So like they'll go open a shop across the street because they're like,
Yep.
what are you talking
Yeah.
about? This is my business.
Yeah.
So it's different.
it's so different.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
talked about this a lot.
Yeah, we have.
It's just
Wow.
crazy when you grow up in the generation of like a traditional apprenticeship because you're teaching someone a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have the people that shortcut and then they don't respect the industry.
And my biggest thing, I think I'm a gatekeeper or whatever, I talk shit on it, but it actually comes from a place of like, I actually want you to be successful.
Right.
I don't think that is the most, the best path to a successful tattoo career. I
Yeah.
truly think I truly think that you'd be better off in an apprenticeship. So when I push those things and like share my opinion on that, like on
Yeah.
Instagram or whatever, it's not like I don't want you to be a tattoo artist. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
this is the path. You just don't like it.
Right.
You
It's
know?
hard.
It's hard. Things are hard.
I'm grateful my apprenticeship was hard because it taught me every aspect of the business.
Yeah.
Because tattooing is literally people.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people. That's your business. You're
Oh, yeah.
selling your craft to people. You're trying to convince someone to get your art on them.
Do you think
So-
that's why you two do well? Because you guys are pretty solid people.
People.
Yeah, you have to be people person.
Like I don't think I could do
sure.
that.
It's hard, and it's a big part of it.
It is a big
Yeah.
part of it. You have to talk.
Like at first, like I warm up to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he'll know. He's like, who the fuck is this guy?
I mean, I've seen, when you travel around, there's artists that like don't talk, headphones in, like my way or the highway, which is great if you can pull off a career that way. But I don't think it's long lasting when you deal with people.
It's true. And people don't realize, as a tattoo artist, most of the time you're by yourself. So even if you're in a shop, you're doing your books. So you're
Right.
like the manager. You're the marketing team because you do all that. You're customer service.
It's a
You're
lot.
answering all your DMs, and you're the person producing. And
Yeah.
you're expected to do all that at the same time. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's
I struggle with the aspect that the emails, when I was first started tattooing, you just sat at the shop and people walked in.
yeah.
What do you?
I didn't have to, do any of that.
Those
So I
days
still
are-
struggle with that.
Those days are
They're
going
gone.
away for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's pretty
maybe
rad.
you need
though.
Inkton tools.
Yeah, right.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. It's pretty rad though.
No,
Like,
I've been trying. It's hard to my
Find a
dad
program
struggles
that
with
works.
it so bad. Him trying to just use a phone is like frustrating. So even
So
when we
fucking
switched to like computers and like trying to show him that he could just do lettering like on the computer, and you just like can't do it. It's so frustrating for him. So
But then like I just did a tattoo a couple days ago, and it was like lettering, like a bunch of names of her dogs, and then another part of her sleeve where it was like just one of her dog's name, and it went underneath another tattoo. And like she wanted She wanted them all in this font. It was like a computer generated
Right.
font, which like it's nice, it's perfect, all that good stuff. And then I hand drew the other one, and it's like there's something just different and better about that.
Yeah.
It's got
Well, it has your own style to it. It's
Yeah.
not printed.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so you said you are into guns, and that your dad was
Yes.
into guns.
Yeah. He's an avid shooter hunter, I guess.
Oh, cool.
He's like the crazy person. He goes on bear hunts every year, but
Rad.
there was like a couple of years he hunted with.
Bear hunting. Yeah.
He is like
he
ground
adopting
tent
people?
and was hunting with spears.
What?
Is how he was bear hunting for a while.
That's amazing.
Will he
Yeah.
adopt us or
Right? He's
like,
crazy.
They don't make men like that anymore.
No, he's wild. Yeah.
A bear attacked me. I killed it, but
Do you,
He had me tattoo a little stick figure because he has like a mohawk mullet is my dad's
Yeah.
haircut, like before the fucking bounty hunter. And it's like a stick figure, like holding a spear. He had me tattoo that on one side and then like a bear on the
that was
other.
amazing.
So,
were you as a kid growing up? Were you in the shop a lot?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he wouldn't work weekends. We were always doing crazy stuff on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, he was there open till whenever he was done. So,
That's
I was there all the time. So,
Do you have any other siblings?
I have a twin brother and then a sister.
Okay.
Neither of them do anything.
Didn't get the tattoo bug?
No. I mean, when we were little, my dad had us tattoo him, like did some flames on him when we were like 6. My brother, I think that's the only time he ever picked up a tattoo machine. So,
Interesting.
One and done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think your apprenticeship would have lasted 5 years if it wasn't like your dad's during that?
I think if it was with another shop, it probably wouldn't have been that long.
Yeah.
I was so ready to start. Like,
Let's go.
But that's also young to start.
it was, yeah. He wanted to wait till I was like, knew that I wanted to do it
Yeah.
and then was old enough. Yeah.
Did he ever try to talk you out of it?
A few times.
Yeah.
But like, I was going to go to art college and do all this stuff. And he's like, I'm not paying for that. And he's like, you could literally just start an apprenticeship and make money,
Yeah.
So
Like, not a bad gig.
I was like, okay. And I was working at a bar, it's like just crazy.
Yeah. I worked in restaurants all through college and then apprenticeship, and yeah, it's comparable because you're dealing with people.
It's dealing with people. Yeah, it definitely helps out.
Hours, a lot of cash. Yeah.
And
Like you had to work the front desk, you're answering phones, you're drawing stencils. So like early on, I learned to talk to people.
Yeah.
Younger people can't talk. My kids can't talk. They can't even order their own food through the drive-through. They're
Oh,
like,
really?
Mom.
like, oh, number 5.
I push it on my kids.
Oh.
We've avoided like iPads as much as we can.
Yeah.
And at a restaurant, we'll make them order. The 2-year-old gets a pass.
Yeah, he gets a pass.
Points.
I mean, I'm pretty strict. My kids don't have social media. They don't have Snapchat, no TikTok.
How old are your kids again?
16 and 12.
So that's got to be hard. Is a
It's hard. We
16-year-old
fight
like?
about it.
Oh
yeah.
They have to be, right?
Yeah. I'm like, if you want to pay for your own phone, then you can do whatever you want. So,
My plan, and I know put this in quotes because I know
What's your plan?
stuff.
it's
changed,
hard. Yeah.
Is that if you want a phone, you have to be 16 and pay for it yourself, meaning you have a job of some sort, and you have to have your license.
Right.
Because I don't want them to be. A lot of these kids end up being like 25 and never get a driver's
Right.
license. I
Yeah.
want them to have a license. you
There's
know?
a lot of kids that don't want to drive.
So I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta buy him a car.
No, well, yeah, I'll do what my parents did. I'll find like a $1,000 card.
Will
like,
That's impossible right now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Make it that far?
oh, the
I mean,
Subi's
I
on
made
its way
it.
out.
My daughter was 14 when I got her phone. It's because she was starting to do sports. And
Oh, yeah.
was like off. And then my son was 11. So it's like, it
That's
gets
pretty
harder. Yeah.
Well, I heard now, like my sister was saying, her son, yeah, he's only in elementary school or whatever, but
Everyone has a phone.
and they all have a group chat, and so now they're like talking
that's
about stuff that happens in the group text, and he's out because
He's
he doesn't
out,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
That's my daughter's biggest argument. But I was like, well, I pay for your phone. You have unlimited
Yeah.
texting calls. You want to talk to your friends? Text or call them.
Yeah.
You don't need Snapchat. You don't need
true.
social media.
There's just wild stuff on there.
So,
It's scary, man.
It is
It's
scary.
Fuck.
I mean, I had a crazy, yeah, my kids are very sheltered compared to how I grew up.
You're like, this
So-
is why I'm doing this because of what I went through.
So, yeah, those days are gone.
And do
I
you-
couldn't imagine growing up with a cell phone
No.
I didn't
because I'm
have one
almost
till the end of
40
high
and I'm
school.
like, I'm glad I was that
Yeah.
last.
When
scan.
do you remember when you got your first phone?
I was 20 and
You
it
were
cost
20?
me,
They were
like a
ridiculous.
grand.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it was crazy.
With Snake playing
And there was
Snake
no-
on Nokia.
I don't even think there was MySpace yet.
No.
So-
No MySpace and like texting.
You could
was,
kind of
like, new.
choose your cheesy ringtone. I remember that.
I want to bring that back.
Mine was like Stairway to Heaven, because you only had 5 choices.
We
So.
don't just have it on vibrate now. I want to have a loud ringtone that's like a song.
Remember when you could like record your voicemail and stuff?
Like, hey,
Yeah, we've lost so
Good.
much, man.
right? Because you used to be able to, you remember everyone's address, you remember everyone's phone number. I can't even remember my kid's phone number.
Or like
Yeah.
birthdays.
Yeah.
Like, thanks to Facebook for reminding me it's like my friend's birthday.
Oh yeah. I don't even remember. I don't even remember my wife's phone number.
Nope.
714. I'm not gonna say it on here.
I just remember my mom's. That's it.
Yeah, the old numbers you can remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend from elementary school. I can remember his number, but not my wife's. Was there ever a time in your tattoo career, like maybe early on, where you just felt like completely out of your comfort zone? What the hell am I doing? And what was that like for you?
No, I was pretty like chomping on the bit. So
Yeah.
like, I had tattooed some friends and stuff no one's supposed to, like all my brother's friends, you know? And,
Don't tell my dad.
but like once I finally was ready and like, I was actually like cruising through stuff and like we didn't charge hourly. It was like set kind of prices. And I remember the manager at the time, we both took a couple who did the same tattoo. I finished like half hour before him and he charged the other lady more, even though it's like a flash piece. And he's like, slow the fuck down. Like you can't be out here showboating everybody, you know? He's like, you don't need to like, you just calm down. And I was like, I don't know, I just fucking did the tattoo, you know?
I tattoo fast and I can't. I will tell myself, slow down.
In my
Just
head.
slow, and then you're
Yeah, can't. No.
yeah.
You get into it though, right? Like if you charge
Yeah.
by the piece, then it kind of benefits you, right?
Like
I
I
don't
don't
even
smoke
think about-
cigarettes. I don't take breaks.
Same.
So like when I'm in it, I'm in it.
Yeah, and
Unless
it's
you're tapping out.
it's less about money for me. It's more about like being in a zone.
Just into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Like I don't even pay attention to the clock. If it be a 3-hour tattoo, it feels like 15 minutes. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty good. Now that I have assistants, they help me a lot.
You
But
need an assistant. But he tattoos well.
it's the computer stuff and emails and like I'm just bad at it. So she regulates my schedule. Like I always run behind, but I'll make sure everyone gets the time they booked. So
is that what we'll see posts like, hey, if you want to book with Jen, just here's the shop.
yeah, just call. Yeah,
Just call
that's
the shop.
Call the assistant.
she does all that stuff. But
That's
yeah,
right.
because people, even my friends, will text me
And you're like,
and I'll look at it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna reply.
Yeah.
Nope,
Nope.
never do.
You're
The
like,
DMs disappear.
they
Right.
do.
And I get
Weird.
a lot of DMs. So like they're like, oh, I've
Ooh.
been messaging her. I'm like, those are lost in the sauce. I have no
For
idea.
sure. Literally.
Never gonna
You'll be like,
see
where's
it.
this DM? And you get one from like 32 weeks ago. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And you ain't even like search in the search bar, and it's still
You're
going
like, what was their name again?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm the same way. Like I have my regulars, they're saved, which is probably terrible. They're saved in my calendar if I put them in as what they're getting tattooed.
like their first name in the
Because I
tattoo?
can't
Yeah.
remember their name. So it'll be like nautical sleeve, like, you know, I'm so
Johnny Eagle.
bad. Or like Stephanie Rose. You know, I was like, so
I
bad.
miss those days.
Uh-huh.
My phone was full of those.
Because then when you're talking to somebody and I'm out, if they get me at a bar or something, and they're like, "Oh yeah," I'm like,
You're
"Oh,
like,
I'll put
I
you
don't
in."
know
I'm like, "Fuck, I can't remember her name. Can't remember anything." I'm just put in when I'm supposed to tattoo.
What
I'm
am
like,
I
"Oh
on
yeah,
your
you're
phone?
in there."
You're Lee RKB.
What am I under your phone?
Yeah, same
Oh,
thing.
fuck yeah. There we go.
I think it popped up.
Did it?
I think it was like suggested
Just
contact.
forced it in.
Well, like if someone tells me their first name, I instantly try to put it in there, and then whatever I'll remember them
What
as.
the hell's
So
like not having like a basic white dude name like Alex?
Whoa, that's pretty unique, Alexander.
I give you two props though on your social media. Like you guys push good stuff. Like he's like
if I didn't have an assistant, I would never be on
Really?
there. Yeah, I'm bad.
he's like the real master, you know,
I'm
like
bad.
making videos and like you
I do stories because that's easy. I'm like,
Well, like
oh,
your-
take a picture.
like your life collages. Like
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
some
that's
that's
rad.
some app that
Oh, nice.
yeah,
But
my
those, like-
assistant puts in. She's like,
but
send me stuff.
but
I'm
those
like,
blow
okay,
up though for you, right?
I think so because I feel like people do want to see your everyday life a little bit,
Just not the gun
just
stuff.
not anything they're going to be offended
Yeah,
about.
not anything they disagree with.
yeah, no political stuff, no gun stuff.
Oh,
So,
that's so true.
and like I've learned, like I won't even post like a lot of food, like steaks or you know what I mean. I was getting like hate on a lot of like.
That's my line in the same. You can go fuck yourself. I'm eating.
I was like, look at this gorgeous meal I prepared, and then it was like just hate stuff. I'm like, damn, I
What?
can't even post
How
food.
many animals die just
Right.
at least
I'll
one.
get like tons of people sending me like
one big
terrible
one.
videos about animals dying. I'm like, oh
You're like,
god,
yummy.
That's psychotic behavior.
fucking
People
wild.
don't do that.
It's
if you
wild.
have a diet, stick to it. That's your thing. But
yeah.
What
I mean, my dad, like growing up, like as the girl's job, whatever he killed, he'd wake me up. I have to gut it and clean it and skin it. I'm
aren't
like,
you happy
I'm
to
not
have
doing that. I do want to go hunting. I like it, but
So
yeah,
that makes sense why like the bravery part, like me and Alex were talking about that. We're like Alex like, so she's flying in, just gonna come shoot with some random person she's ever
Yeah.
met. I was like, yeah, I guess so.
probably back before social media, you just met people
so
like
true.
out of the bar, or whatever. Now it's like people don't really come up and talk to you
I'll talk
You
to
know?
everybody.
But like online, it's easier. It's a little icebreaker, you know?
Some people won't even do that. I think it's been a big theme on this show for us is that like use social media to be social.
Yeah.
I think
It's networking.
Taylor Kavanaugh said that in the first
Yeah.
episode.
Fucking social.
Like-
Like the TK.
It's whether I see it. If it pops up and I see it, I'll totally
Yeah.
engage with somebody.
Like
Yeah.
the person you're DMing that you think is too big to never reply to you, it's a real person
Yep.
Real person.
on their phone, probably all the time. Like I was telling him a story. There was a tattoo artist that does like blackout sleeves, but like really solid stuff.
Super
and
saturated.
I
Yeah.
can't remember their name, but all the guys at the shop were like, I wonder what black he uses. And I was
Mm.
like,
Ask him.
DM him. And he replied and was like, this is what I use. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
what he uses. And they're like, what? I'm like, you can just talk to people. You can reach
Yeah.
out to anyone.
There is that weird celebrity thing now.
Yeah.
Like I experienced it at my hotel. There was paparazzi outside waiting for somebody to show up. And I'm like,
They're
I've
trying
never
to
seen
show
this
up.
ever
Yeah.
in my life. People just crazy
Keep you
waiting
awake.
to see somebody.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Just creepy paparazzi outside of her.
Were they there for you?
No. I was like, oh God. I'm like,
I
got sweatpants on. I'm trying to find a taco truck. I was like, there's fucking people everywhere.
So good.
Because it was loud. I was like, I'm just gonna walk around and get some food, I guess.
Well,
and
I
didn't
guess we're
find
not
anything.
sleeping tonight, especially
Yeah.
after a brutal travel day. That's got
Yeah. Yeah. What are you
hopefully
gonna
the
do?
range and a little podcast make up for
Yeah,
it.
today was great.
Nice. What was I going to ask?
That's what my daughter's bugging me for a tattoo.
We have
Oh,
I'm at that
she's
age.
16.
Yeah.
What's the age in Connecticut?
16
Oh, with parental consent?
with parental, yeah.
Okay.
But I
I
got
guess,
tattooed
yeah.
when I was 15.
Nice. What was
Of
your
course,
first tattoo?
I had to get the same tattoo my dad got,
Which is?
actually. It's like some kind of sun. So his first tattoo, we like traced it and I have it on the back of my neck. Same
Right.
colors, everything.
That's awesome.
He was like, that's the only way you're getting tattooed. And then he
He
made
did
me
it?
wait till I was 18 after that.
Nice. And
Yeah.
he did the tattoo on you?
No, he didn't. We were at some shitty convention somewhere in Massachusetts, or it was like those old hotel ones, you know, you're in like a banquet hall. And someone that worked for him did it for me because it was like spur of the moment. Like he let me do it. And I was like,
Has he
"Yes."
tattooed you?
No, actually, I was just talking to him about that. I was like, because when he moved to Vermont, I had just turned 18, like 18, 19. And yeah, I was allowed to get tattooed, but then he was already gone. I've tattooed him a shit ton.
Yeah.
So
like,
Do you want to get one from him?
yeah, I was calling him the other day and I was like, I really need to get something from you before you like don't tattoo anymore.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely. That'd
Yeah.
be super cool.
It's going to be brutal because I'm sure he's like gnarly, but
It's
he still uses like those tiny tubes, you know,
Yeah. With
Yeah.
the smaller grip.
fucking pencil grips.
just
And
gonna
his
hurt.
machines weigh like 5 pounds. They're like huge brass tattoo machines.
That's a good question for you. Do you use coil or pens?
I have both, but I use a lot of rotaries now.
It's so much
Convenience.
easier.
So
Is
lazy.
this the ink dick?
Yes, the ink dildo.
Ink dildo. Okay, ink dildo. Okay.
I
Right.
have quite a few, but no, I still have all my coil machines. My apprentices learn on them, and
That's
then I
so good.
switch them over. I'm like, if you want to transition, you can. I'm like, your supply is going to cost more, but I'm
Yeah.
like, you can totally get stainless steel tubes. I still have autoclaves. Like
Rad.
needles, obviously pre-made, are way cheaper than buying cartridges. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I set them up pretty good when they're learning. But I'm like, once you're actually tattooing, you have to buy all your own shit.
Yeah.
But
They'll be so grateful for that later. that they
yeah, I
learn
make
on
them
coil.
learn on coils, and then they can switch over.
That's awesome. I think that
So-
should be the way.
Because my dad used to have to like take a machine apart, put it back
Yeah.
together, like be able to replace your springs, everything.
Yep.
And I made needles. I made needles for 15 artists. They would pay me $20 a week. And I had to make, and like that's when mags came a thing. I used to take a razor blade and like fucking thread through them, and like, oh, it was awful. That's what I did to make some money. Yeah,
That one is definitely a lost art now.
it is. Yeah.
I never learned.
But even I've had a couple artists. I mean, they're great artists. They never had apprenticeship. They never used coil machines. They just fucking,
Yeah. That's the
a
weird
lot of stuff
part,
and made
right?
it work. Yeah. But then you have some people that are amazing artists and they cannot figure out how to tattoo.
Yes.
So that's
that is
always mind
absolutely
boggling
true.
to me. Yeah.
I feel like I'm a better tattoo artist than I am an
Same.
artist. you
Me
know?
too.
Like I'm a tattooer.
I think I put more time into tattooing than art.
I'd rather tattoo something than draw it.
Yeah, true. 100%.
Like drawing kind of gets in the
You
way.
ever get those days you're like, I just draw it on them. I'm
Yeah,
like, I don't even
yeah.
want to sit down with paper. I'm like, I'm just going to figure it out.
It's like that part's almost like a formality that gets in the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm making a line drawing of this. I wish I could just tattoo it.
You go from like, I used to spend hours at the light table every morning. I would get there 2 hours early, draw my stuff. And I would get so bummed out when they'd come in and be like, oh, I don't want to do that today. I want to do something else. And I'm like, I just fucking sat here for like
Yeah.
2 hours. Remember, you have to do the lettering. If you didn't freehand it, you'd have to fucking make it so even when everybody wanted Old English and all that. It's that like phase in the 2000s.
I used to remember
Uh,
drawing like a red curve
yeah.
or a red
Fold
pencil
it in
curve and fold it in half and then cut out the letters and then like have them go on the arch
Yep.
and then trace
Then
over
trace
that.
it. Yeah.
And now with like Procreate, it's like
Yeah.
so dumb.
He's
Even like I just had to do like a shit ton of really single needle little cursive stuff. I'm like, man, if I had to fucking draw this on tracing paper, I would have quit. I'd be like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But I can just type
So
it up,
true.
and they're like, oh, I
So
don't really
true.
like that font, and I'm like, well, I'll show you another
How
one.
about this one?
Yeah.
Here's 1,000. to
One of
choose
them's
from,
gonna work.
for
Yeah,
sure.
a lot of
But
times
yeah.
I call him and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, just drawing for tomorrow morning's tattoo,
Yeah.
late as usual,
Oh yeah, that's
just on the tablet.
I usually by my day off, I look at my week, and I
Yeah,
have to
okay.
see like what I need to prep for in my head. See if they even have anything, sent me anything. If I remember talking to them, yeah.
I'm night before every time.
Well, some people work good
It's
under
a
pressure.
Roll of the dice because there's
But
nights
even
where it's like,
sometimes
oh,
I
don't
come
have to
into work
draw.
and I'm like, they never sent me anything. There's
Yeah.
like a little word in the calendar. I'm like, I'll just wait for him to come
Just
in.
all cat. Cool.
Sometimes some of my best stuff's just like,
Yeah.
spur of the moment.
The only time it sucks is when it's like the night before and it's like, oh, I'm drawing a sleeve tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Or you get the email and they want like 80 things somehow. Yeah,
Oh,
I get a lot of those.
I just like, I kind of want this, make it fit.
Yeah.
The easiest.
Yeah, that makes it
Plus, these tattoos are fast and
Yeah.
not heavy, and
like
puts good
Maddie
movies on.
Higgins who tattooed me today.
Killed it. 2.5 hours.
2.5
Back
hour
outline.
back.
Yeah,
piece
that's gnarly.
outline.
That's
Yeah.
fast.
How long do you think you could have done that?
Honestly, about the same.
Really? All right.
Yeah,
Will you do me in 2.5 hours?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
We'll run the clock. But it also depends on what you're getting. You know,
I want to back out.
if you want mine, you accept the same stencil.
Just the same something. I just want the same one.
Just the same
same-
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Sorry, you got
We
one?
had this idea of like doing something like a snippet for the podcast where we tattoo.
Like you're both getting the same thing?
Oh no, I can't tattoo for shit.
Oh.
I just shoot guns. I'm just that. idiot.
You
But
should
like,
tattoo me though. I love having tattoos from friends that don't tattoo.
I'm
I hung out with my favorite UFC fighter and I tried so hard to convince him
you're
to
like,
tattoo it on me. Because he like drew it on. I'm like, tattoo it on me. And he fucking chickened out.
Oh,
But I got it tattooed anyways. But yeah, he was ready. He was like, I can't do it.
it's like, oh,
it's scary. My daughter tattooed me. She was only 4, and she drew a flower. I made a stencil and she put it on. She got halfway done with the flower. She's just like,
I'm done.
I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, okay.
I mean, I have tattooed before.
Oh,
You covered it up.
On yourself.
Oh, yourself.
That's this off one. So,
Sometimes that's easier than to tattoo someone
well,
else.
as long as you meet somebody that can do killer cover-ups, like he turned trash into.
It is.
magic.
It's funny when you get the first time your apprentice sits down to tattoo and they're like, ah.
Shake.
Yeah. And either they're gonna be so light there's nothing there, or they're gonna fucking bury that shit and blow it out. Yeah.
Oh, but what we were thinking of is like we have an NVG camera, and he's gonna tattoo me while wearing night vision, and I'm gonna be wearing night vision watching him tattoo me. It's gonna be in the complete darkness.
So I've actually done a tattoo under night vision before.
Yeah, but
on our
Okay.
now we can
apprentice.
film it.
That's cool.
It did not come out good.
That reminds me of that Steve-O one where they're like
Yeah.
driving, trying to tattoo.
I think it'd be cool. I mean, I don't care. I
Uh,
got trash tattoos.
Yeah.
funny.
Just add it to like the section is getting removed.
Yeah, I think my first tattoo in the shop, all 5 of my mentors stood around me and watched
Made you
me.
sweat bullets.
Yeah, I had a weird one where I apprenticed for a year at a shop and then they closed down.
Okay.
And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm already a year in. I can just start where
Oh
I
yeah.
left
You
off.
gotta
And
start
they're
over.
like, you're starting over. So I
Yeah.
did another 2 years there.
Put your
so-
dues in.
At the new shop, is what they're like, we're going to see where you're at because you've already been tattooing. And dude, I never did the shakes before, but in
Yeah.
front of them,
Yeah, you get nervous.
and they all wrote on this piece of paper everything I was doing wrong, and it's hanging in my station.
Oh
to this
no.
day.
I love that though.
Yeah, it's just like that shading. Ooh,
Ooh.
and like holds the thing backwards, stretches weird. Don't do this. Like it was.
I think that's the best about working in a shop with other artists is that they can come look at you anytime
yeah.
and see what you're doing. My dad used to walk around like his arms on his back and he'd like push up his glasses and he would get like so close to you.
Mm,
And you're just like, oh my God.
And you gotta be cool to your clients. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
it is intimidating. I mean, not now though. Like
Not
it
now.
was when I started, and it was my
Yeah.
mentors checking in on me and like, oh, or,
Yeah.
watching over my shoulder. But because of that, now I'm like, anyone can get as close as they want. It
Yeah.
doesn't affect me.
I still get nervous sometimes, like when other tattoo artists ask me to do stuff on them.
Oh yeah,
I get a little like, oh, okay.
yeah. Why me? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
You
I
want me to do
don't-
what?
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, I think that's the only time I get like a little. I'm like, oh shit.
Super rad though.
A-game.
She tattooed Jerry. Shout out to Jerry and the Triple Feed boys.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have tattooed him. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
No, the little mustache Mexican. He's Jerry.
No.
I have a question from earlier. Numbing cream, not a fan.
I'm not a fan. I think because sometimes it makes the tattoo heel funky.
Yeah.
And when people they come in, they don't tell you they're going to use it, and they've had it on for I don't know how fucking long.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes in, it's gone. It's worn off. And then they go from like no pain to like all the pain,
Yeah.
and they never sit good
And
ever.
it could be midline. That happened to me on my back today.
Oh yeah, like a
Midline.
spot.
Oh, I felt that one. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, no, you're good. I had luck today, though. I've tried it in the
Good
past,
combo.
and it's never worked on me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Novocaine for dental stuff doesn't work on me either.
They say that gingers, yeah, no, that's
My sister has red hair, so I am part ginger. But they,
no pain relief, Gene.
but for some reason, whatever I used, I had my wife loofah my back this morning,
Oh, okay.
and then I put it on like an
Exfoliated.
hour and a half,
Yeah.
exfoliated, and
Let it
it
sink in.
lasted almost the entire 2.5 hours.
That's wild.
And I didn't feel anything. I'm like, this is cheating.
Yeah.
And it did. And my coworker Maddie was like, he's like, your skin's fine. Like, it does not irritated. Everything's going
Right.
in.
Yeah.
Came out good.
Yeah, it looks great.
Um,
I struggle now. So I can't do like all day sessions are rough for me.
So conventions is gonna be rough for you.
No, like me getting tattooed.
tattooed,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's usually how I book it. Like if I'm going to get tattooed, I'm just going to sit the whole day.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been rougher. About 6 hours. I'm like, fuck my life.
I'm like 4.
Like hurry
Depending
up.
on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah,
It depends.
They all
Yeah.
hurt now, though.
They do.
More than any. Like, I remember getting tattooed when I was 18. It's like, this. Yes.
And I like one of my first tattoos I got was like this rib tattoo, and I struggled when I was 18 getting it. I'm like, I'm never gonna touch that ever.
Really?
Outline's
Not doing
good.
it. Yeah,
That's gonna
outline's
be
good.
unfinished.
No, it's tattooed color and everything, but it's just like a dumb tattoo. Like I don't want
Those
it
are the
anymore.
best tattoos though.
Wow.
Got stories and
I feel like in my head, I wish I planned everything out. Like you know how like there's so many artists that put suits out, and I'm like, dang, I wish in my head when I was younger, that's how I planned everything out.
I wish I did everything black traditional, just black whipped out
I
traditional.
know I have so much color that's just
Yeah.
20 years old and needs all
it works good on
revamping.
women though. More color.
Yeah. I feel like though if a tattoo artist has too nice of tattoos, I'm like,
Mm.
you know what I
They don't have
mean?
any shitty ones.
You gotta have some shitty ones, man.
Or
Like,
at least covered up some shitty ones. Like there's
Yeah.
got to be a history. I feel like everyone's tattooed themselves.
but that maybe just means they make better life choices.
or
than
that,
me.
yeah.
Like when
Say
you're
people that plan out bodysuits. That means you're so
Yeah.
patient,
For real.
so patient.
like when you're younger, you're like, what does $50 get me? Can I get something?
I just want a tattoo so bad.
What? I was like, how? Okay. I was like, I have this much money. How big can it be? They're like, that big. You're like, okay, if I get.
That's,
Yeah.
that's
That's
worth
There's
it.
still so many people I want to get tattooed by too. That's a hard thing.
Who's on your list?
I really want to. Well, they all do huge pieces. I'm like, I don't have enough space. But I went to Spain and got tattooed by one of my favorite guys. I can't remember his name right now.
It's that camera
Zam?
thing.
Zam the Spaniard?
No, they
It's
have
the
this,
only guy from Spain I know.
if I showed you the tattoo, you'd probably know exactly who it is.
Okay.
But yeah, I have like a couple little bangers that I've traveled and gotten. But
Yeah.
like one of my favorite guys, he does poly like traditional stuff. I love it. His name's Lala, and I just want to get just a little tiny, give me a little tiny poly banger. But he's booked out so far.
How far out?
God, I think he's in like 2-3 years, maybe.
That's so wild.
You're like, you can't just squeeze me in.
I have some.
Crazy.
There's like some users on LinkedIn Tools, they're like,
Yeah,
hey, I need help with my calendar. I needed to go out this far, and I'm like,
that far.
how far?
Crazy.
What?
You know?
Good for you, man.
That's great. Yeah.
You're like, you plan on living that long, bro? Like,
I have
couldn't
like
do
an
that.
unfinished piece from Gabe Londis out in like Salem, Mass. And
Rad.
but every time I try to book something, it's like a year out. I'm like I want to book it, but I'm like, what am I going to be doing a year? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be around in a year.
So yeah,
What am I
right.
gonna
It's
be
hard to pull
doing?
that trigger. So I'm like, shoot, that's so far away.
also
How far
some-
out? Oh,
Something
sorry.
we talked about earlier was something that related to you too. Was like trying to be on Ink Master.
Oh, yeah.
Did you try to go on?
No, I interviewed a couple times, but like they were like really pushing for like some dramatic answers. I'm like,
oh,
do you want me to pretend to, like I'm not a dramatic person.
Yeah.
So
I didn't get that far.
I think it's great. Like if it's smart, like if you own your own shop or whatever, it's super smart. Or if you're just starting and you want to get your name out there, it's great. I have a
Yeah.
girl that she's been with me 8 years. She was on it like twice, and she's an amazing artist. But like that really kicked
For sure.
kicked her career off. So.
I made friends with a guy at last year's Ventura Seaside Tattoo Convention,
yeah,
and he was on this last season, but he was first off. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
but like it's still good for his career. He's
Yeah.
a phenomenal artist. I just think that's a weird arena to tattoo in.
It's really a game. I think it's a mental game. You're playing the reality TV. It's not really about tattooing. It is, but it's also about reality TV.
Yeah.
It's hard. My dad's first apprentice. He worked for my dad for like 20 years. He won the second Ink Master.
Oh, who's that?
Steve Taft.
Oh, rad. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And like we still talk and stuff, but he's a good friend of mine now. But God, when he left my dad's shop, it was like under bad terms. It was so crazy. But the show really kicked it off, for him to open his own shop. So there is advantages. I don't
sure.
hate on it because like if you can handle that environment, like
Yeah.
you have to have an ego for that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of like, I don't know, I still doubt everything I do, still second guess. You have stern stuff to
For sure.
walk in front of everybody and
I
be
do
like,
think,
look at this
though,
tattoo.
I can see heck on there.
The amount of time they give you, I'm
Right.
like, no problem.
Yeah, I know. So it's 8 hours or
8
something.
hours? What are you?
I'm like,
crazy?
God, I could get a
What am I going to
fucking-
do with the other 4? Like,
Yeah.
Couldn't you see heck on there just stirring the shit out of the pot? Just stirring the pot. That was
personality wise, for sure. But
You have to
I
have
mean,
a certain personality for it. I
he
think.
has the personality,
Sorry.
and he's a very talented tattoo artist. But I know, heck, personally, pressure and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's a lot.
that would be a lot for him.
Yeah.
I just want to see a wild card on there. Like,
Yeah. No, when I had my one phone call with them, because they send everyone an email and they're like,
Yeah.
I got an email.
I went through a couple like video interviews.
Oh, you got far.
And then, but then I like own a shop. I have kids. I've been a single parent forever.
And it doesn't
So I'm
pay.
like, I can't leave for 3. What are you crazy?
And they're like, oh, you get like $200 a day
Take
or
your
something.
phone away. Like,
No,
what?
dude.
No way. Well, yeah, because they don't want you to like,
Spoil it.
yeah.
Yeah, they asked me a
It's
bunch
still
of questions.
reality TV. Yeah.
And then they go, so we film in Canada. There's just one question. Do you feel comfortable sharing your vaccination status, like
Oh,
COVID vax?
jeez.
And I went,
Oh, so this is like COVID time.
yeah, whatever, like before the last season.
Yeah.
And I go, well, let me ask you a question. Is that a deal breaker answer? And they were like, no. I'm like, then I do not feel comfortable sharing my
Right.
vaccination status. And
Like, do you want my whole health record
I
too?
think that was it for me.
they're
Yeah.
like, he's made his
I think I got through the interview where they're trying to like push you. Like, if someone said this to you, what would you do? And
I dropped their ass.
right.
Oh,
like,
come on, man.
like, can you hit people on this show? They're like,
It'd
no.
be fun to
You're
just
like, I shoot people. I don't
balls
hit
to the
people.
wall, make up a persona, and just go on.
Go
there
on it.
with everyone. That'd be fun.
Man, yeah.
And just win and be like, all right, this is how I really am, guys. Super chill.
Like the sweetest person ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that. Like, remember when they had that MMA show? They put all the fighters in a house.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not expect that
Still
to
do
be
it.
fucking bad? Yeah.
Still going.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
I like the other one that was,
That was good. To see everybody brawl.
where like they would like the bully beatdown.
Bully beatdown.
Yeah, where you could like if you were getting bullied in real life.
Oh, you could like confront your bully.
Yeah, but a UFC fighter would beat the shit out of you. But they would pay the bully like, hey, if you can last this many rounds, like you'll get paid. And some
Oh, it's
dudes
like celebrity boxing, kind of.
some
Yeah.
dudes like held their ground and they got paid. You know,
Dang.
and, like some dudes just got their ass whipped. But it
Yeah.
was hosted by Jason Mayhem Miller.
Nice.
You remember him?
Struggle with tattoo artists that are like mean to other tattoo artists.
Ooh,
Too.
there's some toxic people in this industry.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Because I have like conventions, I go to a lot, so you see a lot of the same people. You're like, hey, 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 and then there's people you don't see, and you smile and you wave, and they're just like, I'm like,
Who's
ew,
that?
So weird.
Who's that?
gross.
It's so weird. Like,
You don't want to be nice. You don't want to say hi.
Like,
Like,
Too good. All right, cool.
aren't you here to network? No, you just want to be
No.
cranky over there. Like, no.
I remember my first convention. I'm walking around and I go back to the booth. You know, I'm pretty outgoing, and I go to my mentor. I'm like, why does everyone not talk to anyone? He's like, I don't know, man. And I walk around. People are just head down at their table, not looking
Right.
at anyone. And it's like, there's potential customers.
They want to
walking
talk
by,
to you.
Here's
Yeah.
some free sauce if you're a tattoo artist going to convention. Say hi to people.
That's
like,
literally the point. Yeah.
holy shit.
And it feels a little bit like you're on display, but you're signing up for it. You're there to
Yeah.
market yourself.
Yeah. And like,
But even just like snub other artists, it's like,
that's
ew.
super weird.
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah.
I won't do that though. I'll straight like if it's somebody I want to talk to, I'll talk to them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I will
I'll be
find
like,
a
"Hey."
client anywhere. If I'm out at the bar,
Yeah.
people want to chit chat, you kind of hate it, but you're like, yeah, bro,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
come to
for
the shop,
sure.
email, you know.
For sure.
Text
Like, I just
me.
want to tattoo.
Even
that
like gun courses, when I've taken courses, I've raked in so many clients.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Especially law enforcement.
Yeah, you're
military,
there
they're the
all
best.
day. You know, you take a little break, you're chit chatting.
I was
Yeah.
telling her like how like we break the ice in classes where we like throw out some super dark humor in the beginning and like
Yeah,
people
it's
who
good.
laugh are like those are the homies and the people who are like oh you're like okay
I mean, I have a pretty terrible sense of humor, so I've been in pretty good. But yeah, I got a lot of clients from like Academy and like the
Right.
TTOG. I took his course, Fieldcraft, and like it is all law enforcement, military.
she's shooting so good.
I'm like, my shop's just down the road, you know.
like hey you
That's
ever need
smart.
anything?
I like it.
Come on down.
What's
It's
been one of
good.
your favorite firearms classes you've taken?
We did like the suppressor one, which is great.
Rad.
Or no, I built my own AR, so like, what is that class called?
Like a gunsmithing class?
Where you all have the same rifle, just rifle.
Yes, rifle class.
Yeah.
Was it the Rifle Dynamics?
No, it's over here.
That's over here. Yeah, my bad.
Like in Academy in Connecticut, other people would come in and use their facility.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I took a bunch of courses with like other trainers and stuff. And like a lot of pistol and stuff, which is crazy being in like, it's indoors
Yeah.
and it's 20 people all like lined up next to each other, you know?
It's fun
And
sometimes.
yeah, it was pretty crazy, but they were great. It was good. Like, and obviously people that were there are already shooters, some new shooters, which is crazy to see. Like, they don't know how to like handle their gun or like, I was so nervous because I trained with the guy that headed Academy for a while just to prepare for this course. Cause I was talking to somebody from Fieldcraft, Raul, he doesn't work there anymore. And I was like, I'm a new shooter, but I really want to take your course. I know you're coming in like a couple months. He's like, well, this is where you need to get to for me to let you take my course.
Okay.
I was like, done. So I literally every week I was at Academy for like an hour,
Wow.
like prepping. So I just got my pistol permit, like carrying. I wanted to feel super comfortable. And then I get to the course and there was like two dudes like fumbling shit up. And I'm like, yes. Like, I'm not the worst one here.
and don't let me stand next to them.
Yeah.
There's always one though, and then you're just kind of like,
Like he was getting reprimanded. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad that it's not me.
That's awesome.
we shot today, and she was just like mellow, like, oh yeah, I have a Glock 19 too. I was like, cool, here you go. There's one for you right here.
Yeah. It took a minute to like remember stuff because if you don't shoot all the time, but
Shot well since you
Yeah, it's
the wrist
exciting.
is holding well. So
yeah, I was nervous about that, but no, it felt
Now
great.
she's gonna be back at shooting all the time. Now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you broke your wrist.
Yeah. I took my kids snowboarding.
Oh.
Fucking, it was January. It was like right after New Year's, and just dicking around. I was watching them, just like hit a little ice and like fell back, snapped it, broke it. I did another run down, and then I went up to like my kid's trainer. I'm like, I think I fucked my wrist up. He like takes my glove off, and it's just like this huge bump. He's like, the emergency room's right there. It's
Is
like,
there like a plate there or anything? Or
no, I didn't have to get surgery. I just snapped it clean across. So
That's
I
why.
had a brace for a couple weeks and then a cast for like 16 weeks.
That's why I will not snowboard.
I
it's
know.
the one thing that seems to get everyone, like tattooers wise. Like,
Yeah.
For me, bro, like I don't have much of a butt, so
hey, you got a nice butt, homie.
that's all. Like, I'm breaking hip.
Well,
bones,
then
bro.
my buddy bought me like super nice wrist guards because he's like, "Are you gonna stop?" I'm like, "No."
You're like,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh man.
just gotta learn to fall differently.
Yeah.
for real.
But yeah, as soon as I did it, I was like, "Fuck,
Fuck.
fuck."
Yeah.
So I couldn't tattoo. I couldn't do
Yeah.
anything.
If any gun shops would like to send her Red Dot, she's now converting over from irons
Yeah,
to
it's
Red Dot.
exciting.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I did something. I tore my meniscus in my knee and had knee surgery.
yeah.
It's exactly a year ago, but I could tattoo. I
Right.
had like 2 weeks off, and then I was like,
Oh, that's
At
good.
the time I was in the studio, it was upstairs. I'm like
Crutching
every day,
up.
like, hobbling up the stairs. I'm wheeling around my studio, and the client's like, "Are you good?"
Just
I'm like,
one
"Yeah."
leg out.
I blew
Yeah.
my knee out, but I had to have surgery, and I was out for 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks getting older.
Right? Yeah, it's brutal. And no, I felt good shooting today. I was pumped.
Is there anything? You got anything else? We're getting near-ish the end. I want to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure we cover everything
Good,
we
good.
want to cover.
We've covered a lot.
Covered a
I'm
lot.
super stoked that you're here though. Like that just like happened. It was like they're,
I know, it
they're
worked
like,
out.
hey, if you're ever in the California
Yeah.
area, which is rare.
And today opened up, didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, a few months ago, you were like announcing, "Oh, coming to the convention!" Like, hey, Range Day, what's up?
Yeah,
Be
down.
social, be
Be
social.
social
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
some people aren't friendly, but I am.
Nice.
And then she didn't end up in a ditch or a van, so it's
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah,
like,
you can still trust some people,
You're right.
even if they look like him.
Uh,
we had this where like people.
which is funny. I don't even think I knew what you look like.
Well, for a while, I had to blur my face for like
Yeah.
working, But now it's just open now. Or we usually have like night vision on, or there's always something.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was like,
Like, he's
I'm going
like,
shooting today. I'm down.
But that's how people think. Like they approach him like this is the nice one, and they think I'm the mean one. But like really, I'll become the nicer one, and like he can be the dick. I mean, we could both be dicks, but
Yeah, inside
it's
I've got
great
a
dynamic.
I've got two wolves.
Some dark
inside.
They're both gay, bro.
Well, it's crazy when people come and talk to you when you're out. Like I drink, obviously, and I'm one of those like wild people when I drink. I like
Yeah.
wander around. I'm all over the place, and I'm like, "Oh, do you remember I talked to you?" I'm like,
Nope.
"Yeah, no, I don't fucking remember anything.
I don't
I'm sorry."
No, do you do?
You
have
can just
ever
see
had
me when I'm
this?
drunk. You're welcome.
Clients come in the shop and they're like, maybe bring a friend, and I'm like, oh hey, Alex, nice to meet you. And they're like,
Yeah.
you've
Tattooed me? Oh, the worst.
Sorry, let me see the tattoo, and then you see the tattoo,
Then
and
you
you're like,
remember.
oh,
yeah.
you go to this school or this, yeah.
I love seeing tattoos out in the wild. People come like, "Oh, you did this for me," or like people talk about my dad still, which is crazy
That's rad.
all the time.
I picture your dad because I don't know if you remember.
I'll show you a picture of him when we're done. He's
Right.
There's
wild.
that picture. It's a couple tattoo artists. Again, don't try to remember things on the podcast because you want
Yeah.
the old crew.
old school dudes. They have the 70s, like super tight shirts. They're jacked, mustaches, gun.
My
in
dad's
their
almost
belt.
70, has abs.
Sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I picture that being your dad. Like,
Yeah, he's
like,
gnarly. He used to have a big, huge handlebar mustache and like a mohawk mullet, if you could picture
So
that.
good, so good.
Yeah. It's good
So
stuff.
good.
Classic.
All right, I think we have time for the last question, and then but I want to get one in before that, if you're cool with it. Where do you see the tattoo industry going in the next 5 years?
It's a little scary I don't know. I feel like it's a scary time because they're really trying to push the not feeling any pain thing. And then the more like computers and stuff doing it. I have like a lot of buddies that are super into it and they're like, oh, AI or robots are going to be doing it, which I feel like that's a long ways away. Like I always think of like Stormtroopers or whatever that movie is. Yeah. And I'm like, that's far away, but it is scary to think about.
Yeah.
Cause like, what do you know?
Have you had any clients yet bring in AI designs?
Oh yeah, all the time.
So
they get
weird, right?
fooled. That's what's crazy. It's like, how do you not know this is fake? But
Yeah.
like, they don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like this tiny little thing, and it's so perfect. I'm like, that's not a real tattoo.
No.
Like, I can't do that.
Well, I have clients designing their own tattoos
Oh,
using
with
AI.
AI.
And they say, hey, this is the design I want.
Oh.
And like, they always look really good,
Right.
like at first glance. And then you're like, wait, that foot has 7 toes.
Right.
That drink goes back around and connects over
It
here.
is.
Like,
People come in and they kind of lay out stuff. Like they plan it all out in their heads, and they give me this thing, and I'm like, okay, like,
yeah.
yay, so fun. But
Yeah.
I appreciate it because they know what they want. You just have to direct them. Like, well, this might not look so great.
I think that's a hard thing. That for me, at least, was one of the hardest things. Like maturing in my tattoo career was learning how to like.
Sometimes you have to burst
Guidance.
their little bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this might look good for a week or two, but then it's gonna look terrible. Like the micro tattoos are super popular right now, and like, yeah, I can do them, but like, is it gonna last? No. Is it gonna mush together? Probably. So
Or
there's
that
a reason
AI
they say
design.
bold will hold. You know,
Yeah.
that's a
Like, yeah, that AI design looks really cool, but like in 5 years, everyone's going to know that you got that design from AI.
I love if someone's across the room and I know exactly what's tattooed on them.
That's
I love that.
Rad.
Love that.
Okay. Final question.
Send it.
You. I'm going to make you ask it.
You're
this
better with words.
This is a
Praising it. I did all last season.
You did?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we'll
Mostly.
run it back and count. See who's up for the next episode. Okay, so what do you see as the greatest threat to the United States, either now or in the near future?
I want to say Democrats, but that's not fair. I say it's the secret people pulling the strings behind government. So, and like, You can say Biden, but you don't even know where he is. That guy's gone. So it's whoever is pulling the puppet.
Shout out to the
That's
lizard,
what's
the
scary.
lizard people.
You know, because they make money off war and they make money off, you know, funneling different projects and stuff. And then there's no way us as Americans are ever going to get out of this tax hole. No way. They're just going to get more. They haven't even come up with COVID taxes yet. You know that's coming.
Yeah.
So that's what I worry about because cost of living now, housing market, no one's going to be able to own a home. Like groceries are crazy. They're just going to weed out middle class. Either you are dependent on the state or you make enough money you can do your own thing.
Yeah. And that's going to be harder and harder.
Harder and harder.
Heck yeah.
We were just
So
talking about
honestly,
tattoo prices too, because it's like,
Yeah.
how many times have you raised your prices?
And it's not even close to enough.
I've raised them twice.
Yeah.
That's it. In 16 years, I've raised them twice.
I've raised it once in 10 years.
Yeah. But it's like, is
And even
it,
then, I'm like, most of the time,
even then, I'm
referred
still
to
charging $100 an hour. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
I've
hard.
had I had one client recently like, whoa, like, did you change your prices? And I go, yeah, man. Do you
I
know how,
tattooed
like,
you 15 years ago. Yeah.
do you know how everything has gone up? Like, all my
Right.
stuff's gone up too. And
Yeah.
it just is what it is. Like, I'm
It
not
is
going
what it is.
Yeah,
That's the
it's
hardest
hard.
part as an artist is like you finding that like I know I should be charging more, but like
Yeah.
it's hard.
I still price stuff sometimes as if it was me getting tattooed 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, that
It's
was
hard. You see something, you're like $150.
Yeah.
You're like that's like the minimum, you know? Like it's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
Especially like
that's hard.
tattooing friends. You're like, don't worry about it. I'm like, dude, how much? Like, how much do I need to give you?
It's hard to make it think of a job. Like I know it's a job, but like it's what you love to do.
For sure.
So
Are you big? This is a tangent based on your answer a little bit. A lot of tattoo artists I know are like conspiracy theory. Yeah, you big into that too? We're all weirdos, right?
I love to talk about it for sure. I mean, I have a guy that works for me that's like super deep into it. You know, he
You hit
gets
him
like
up, hey,
angry, you
what's the
know.
word on this one, bro?
Yeah.
Let me know.
He gets mad about stuff and says like the most out of pocket stuff, but I'm just like,
Is he at the point where like they're coming to get him? That he thinks?
no, it's just like
I have friends like that. They're like,
really gets
"They're
angry
watching
about
me."
like financial institutions. He's really into like whatever the new money, the
oh yeah,
the
crypto,
digital
yeah.
money, which I'm like, why would you want that? As a
I know.
conspiracy theorist, why would you want that?
No,
Oh,
I
man.
don't.
Cash is king. You
Gold
want
is
gold,
king.
silver, tangible money.
Tangible.
I love just throwing out a random one in this tattoo shop and like it's full and everyone's being
Right.
like, so I don't think dinosaurs are real, and just see where it lands. You know?
What do you mean you don't think they're real, bro?
Unicorns probably were, dragons for sure, but dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, I love a good conspiracy theory.
Especially
Like we were talking about aliens the other day, and they're arguing about like, well, you know, when do you? I'm like, they're gonna pull aliens out. We know that's coming.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the new thing, and like the bird flu, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I mean, how do you not believe in aliens? We're an alien to some other planet, right?
This is,
Like,
I do not believe in aliens.
you don't?
Nope, not at all.
really?
You don't think there's other
Nope.
life out there in some other universe?
But that's more my religious
Oh, yes.
side, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think God
Not
created
me.
this
I think they're
flat
real.
Earth.
Let's what's the thing with the dinosaur argument? If you're super religious, you don't believe in dinosaurs,
But that one I believe outside of my religious stuff.
right?
Like,
Because there's proof.
dude, I saw recently someone took like the skeletal structure of a cat, right?
Yeah.
And then like
Rearranged
had
it?
someone kept it the same,
Oh,
but had someone like do like what a dinosaur artist would do with a skeleton. And
Okay.
like it looks insane.
right.
So like these skeletal structures, it's like it's just an
They're just
artist.
making it up.
They're making it
Yeah.
up.
This is what they think it looked like.
The bones are made of ground up chicken bones.
Yeah.
It's my favorite one though because
So I feel like unless
pisses
it's like
people off.
in rock where you have like the impression, like, you know,
they're just finding
I don't
a
know.
bone of probably a giant or a dragon.
who knows?
Or like the whole myth, like
The giant people one, yeah, that's a good
Himalayan
one.
salt and the dragon. They're giant people bones. Is
The
Himalayan
giant people
salt?
ones,
Like-
yeah.
Okay, I gotta give you this.
This
is my favorite
If you
one.
want, if you want a really good one, like on your flight home, look up Antarctica. What's beyond the ice wall?
Oh,
and
yeah.
why,
Oh, I heard that. It's
and
like where
why-
all
why is there
the
no
all the
pyramid
weapons
up there?
are.
and why did Germany, their biggest military base, like Nazi regime Germany, why was it in
In
Antarctica?
Antarctica. Yeah.
That's where the answers are. It's in
So
Antarctica.
even deeper than that.
You
If
only
you
see
watch the movie
penguins.
Cars, Disney Cars, all the mountains look like giant cars.
Yeah.
That's them letting us know that they were giants
War
on our
giants.
Earth. Anyway,
I don't think I've heard that one.
it's a personal favorite of mine I came up with.
That's good.
Any social media stuff you want to plug? Websites, Instagrams, all that
My
good
personal
stuff.
ones, Little Flats, LILFLATS, and then it's just Flats Tattoos.
Cool.
know, yeah, fun
Lil.
stuff.
Lil.
Lil. Yeah, not little.
She'll
Lil.
rapper
Lil.
name.
Yeah. Which is funny. I have it like on my license plate and everything.
Do you?
Rad.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Well, because my dad's, I'll say flats. So I was like, I
Lil.
can't take flats. Like,
Lil
and I'm a
Flats.
girl, so like, can't,
Awesome.
But yeah,
Well, thank you so much for making the time.
Thanks for having
You're
me.
here for a convention, and you made time to be on our podcast today.
yeah, it was fun. Shooting was
rad.
fun. This was fun.
Super rad day.
Good times.
Sweet. Another episode in the bag. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.